Hey everyone, Bayjax here. Capcom have released a 9-minute deep dive video for Dragon's Dogma 2 and I want to go through it with you all because there are a lot of amazing things in this game.
In Dragon's Dogma 2, up to 3 AI-controlled beings called pawns can join you on your adventures. Players can choose from 4 starting vocations that determine how they will play. Of course, you will be able to change your vocation at any time by visiting vocation guilds.
The first thing I want to point out is what the narrator just said. It looks like there are now vocation guilds, which is really interesting because in Dragon's Dogma 1 there was just one guild and that was the Pawn Guild. I hope that the guild buildings are unique depending on the vocation, like a magical mage build or a thieves guild that looks like a tavern or something. I think it would be cool to have to complete vocation challenges to increase our vocation level. For example, say kill 50 enemies with the blink strike skill and that would give you the vocation XP. So let's take a look at the fighter vocation armor. The character in the top left corner is wearing armor similar to the chimeric armor set in Dragon's Dogma 1 but looks a lot cooler, a lot more detailed. The character in the top right corner is wearing some really cool armor. Her armor reminds me of Edward, I think his name was, from Dragon Age Inquisition. The character below her is a beast run and her armor really makes me happy because she is wearing robe-like armor, which I like to see for the fighter vocation. Before I talk about the fighter vocation, look at this thief pawn tackle a goblin, pin it down and then start murdering the poor thing. It is wild to see that kind of attack.
Wielding a one-handed sword and shield, the fighter excels in melee combat. As a fighter, you can cut down enemies with a sword and protect yourself and your party using your shield.
So for the fighter vocation, it looks like there are a lot more normal combos for the fighter, which is awesome. We can also roll as the fighter now too, which I really thought would have been good in Dragon's Dogma 1.
As we keep going, we can see some harpies in the distance. As an archer, you'll be better suited to take down enemies above you.
So let's have a look at the archer armors. I can see a few pieces from Dragon's Dogma 1, like the assassin cap and the small hat on this character, but it looks a lot nicer in this game. I really like this kind of cap for the archers because it reminds me of Robin Hood. The piece that caught my eye the most was the cloak that this beast run is wearing in the lower left. I love the pattern on it and the big collar, it looks really stylish and just awesome.
Let's see what they can do. The archer is a vocation that uses a bow and arrow to attack enemies from a distance. Make full use of your arsenal, including exploding or blighting arrows. You can also aim at your enemies like a third-person shooter.
So the archer vocation looks anime as hell. Remember when we all thought Link jumping off a horse and using the bow was cool? Well, this looks a lot more insane. It looks like the archer vocation can now auto-aim, which I really like. I can't imagine every arrow hitting though, so I don't think it will be overpowered. The video did say that we can go into a third-person shooter mode like Dragon's Dogma 1, which is great. It'll be useful for more precise shots on weak points. And it's just nice to have that kind of option. The archer vocation can slide, which looks cool. I'm gonna try and do this going between a Cyclops' legs or something. It seems that the archer will also auto-roll if you shoot the bow in midair, which looks really cool. Now let's take a look at the mage clothing. The robes that I like the most are the ones both Beast Run are wearing, especially the one in the bottom left, that just screams healer, which is my favourite kind of mage. The mage in the top left looks like some kind of dark mage that specialises in dark magic. I like how there are robes to showcase that kind of mage playstyle. I also really like this Merlin wizard type hat.
Mages excel at long-range magical attacks, as well as healing and support spells that bolster your party with various enchantments to give allies an advantage in battle. The more advanced and powerful the magic is, the longer the incantation will take.
As a mage, we will once again be able to buff our team with elemental boons. Although I hope this game has items which allow the same effect for when we play, say, as solo fighters or warriors. Looks like the mage also has a faster movement speed when casting a spell compared to the first game, which is really nice. I like the cosmetic change for the Cyclops. They look a lot more frightening in this game. The Cyclops in Dragon's Dogma 1 look kinda cute, to me anyway, so it is a nice change to make them look more frightening. Now let's take a look at the Thief armor. I'm not a huge fan of the Thief style class in games, but I really like the scarves and the tattered capes the characters are wearing here. I really like the look on the character in the bottom left. That is some very cool looking Thief armor.
Let's take a look at the Thief. As a thief, you use daggers to strike at your enemies, relying on agility and quick attacks. Use Swift Step to quickly move away from enemies after an attack. The key strategy for the thief against massive monsters is to find openings and cling onto the enemy to deal damage.
I really like the swift and almost erratic movement of the thief vocation. I think this dude turns into Sonic the Hedgehog at one point with the spinning attack. And the Cyclops hitting its face on the floor and reacting to it was awesome too. It makes the Cyclops feel a lot more real.
Fighting head-on is always an option, but it's a good idea to utilize the environment around you while engaging with enemies.
Now we see what we can do to affect the battlefield, and in this case the player destroys a weak wall with a barrel and water rushes the area, pushing the Cyclops away. The rushing water looked crazy to me, but I hope this isn't just for this quest, but I don't mind if it is, it still looks amazing. Now we see how enemies will react to the geography. In Dragon's Dogma 1, when an ogre or Cyclops fell off a cliff or ledge, then they would just die, but now it looks like they will attempt to hold on and save themselves, which again makes the enemies a lot more immersive and makes them seem a lot more real.
Two nations prosper in the world of Dragon's Dogma 2. Vermund, the human kingdom, and Batal, the land of Beastren. In Vermund, the Arisen who slay the dragon have ruled as kings for generations. This land of lush meadows and rolling hills is ripe for exploration. In contrast, Batal is a rugged canyon nation with a city built on the site of ancient ruins. It is home to the Beastren and their unique culture. The nation of Batal offers players a different experience from the human kingdom, with diverse environments to explore and monsters to encounter.
So as the video said, we will be questing in two regions. It looks like Vermund will be full of grassy plains and it kind of looks similar to Granzis. The Arisen who is sitting on the throne is interesting. It seems like he has his pawns with him. He has a warrior, an archer or a ranger, and a mage or a sorcerer. But I'm calling it now, the Arisen is evil. He just looks evil. I can imagine your group of pawns will have to fight his group of pawns. That'd be so awesome. Something I noticed too is that I think we will now have the ability to control where harpies will take us when we grab them, which will be very useful. Batal looks really fun to explore. It looks very vertical and I hope there are a lot of caves to check out in this region. I'll probably be spending a lot of time there. I especially like the bazaar or marketplace in Batal. The Beastren culture looks really awesome too. It looks like there are some kind of crocodiles or desert saurian enemies here. I wonder if this enemy will be a desert exclusive enemy.
In your adventures, you might come across people who call out to you.
Oh, have you some business with the apothecary, sir?
Other times, you might receive quests from people who you aid.
Thank heavens. Thought I'd ne'er make it. If I might be so bold as to impose upon you again, would you be willing to accompany me to the cenotaph and safeguard me from harm?
Pawns with knowledge of a quest may be able to guide you to the right location, but it is up to the player to decide whether to follow them or not. Pawns support you throughout your adventures and may come to your aid when you are in trouble.
So NPCs will now approach you to give you quests, which I really like. It will feel a lot more immersive rather than the player going to the NPCs for quests. This obviously won't be for every quest, but it's still nice that some NPCs will come to us. And I am so happy that your pawns will now catch you when flying enemies drop you from really high up. I've died so many times in Dragon's Dogma 1 due to harpies picking me up and then dropping me.
To complete your quests, you can ride ox carts to travel to major locations. But be aware, as you might get attacked en route to your destination and have to decide how to tackle the situation. During the ride, you can choose to close your eyes to quickly arrive at your destination.
The ox cart is an amazing feature that I never would have thought they would add. So we can now jump on an ox cart and travel the region like that. This is something I really wished was in Skyrim. This will be such an awesome way to appreciate the world space. The surprise attacks on the ox cart will also be really fun and just make this mechanic even more awesome. It's not like you will have to defend the cart alone either. There will also be guards fighting alongside you, which is exactly what I would have wanted. Those guards will be really appreciated in solo runs. So it looks like the really dark nights are back in this game, and I'm glad because I enjoyed the danger of the night when playing Dragon's Dogma 1. The mage casted a really cool shield spell, which will be useful when there are a lot of melee enemies. It just looks awesome too.
If you have a camping kit, you can find a campsite to spend the night and recover your health.
Good evening, Arisen. 'Tis the honor of my life to share your journey.
The camping system is also something I never thought I would see in this game. I mean, I always thought Dragon's Dogma 1 should have had a camping system, but I didn't expect it to be this deep, with all of your party sitting around the fire and giving the player a chance to converse with them. It seems like this game really took some inspiration from the Red Dead Redemption series with some of its mechanics like the ox cart and the camping system. So let's take a look at the armour of the Mystic Spearhand vocation. I must say, nothing really stands out to me from these four characters, but I do like the armour the Beastrun is wearing in the bottom left corner. It looks really cool. I'm really hoping for some cooler looking armour for this vocation because I know this is going to be my favourite vocation.
The Mystic Spearhand combines magic attacks and weapon-based physical attacks. A good all-rounder, they use their duo spear at close range and magic at long range. They can also use magic to block an enemy's movement or throw multiple items at once.
This vocation is wild, so it appears to use the spear as a main weapon and uses telekinetic / teleportation spells, which is fantastic. It also has a kind of stasis spell which will be useful. This vocation combines my favourite weapon type with my favourite spell type. It's just perfect for me, I can't wait to use it. This class reminds me of the Dragoon class from Final Fantasy XIV. Let's take a look at the armours for the Magic Archer vocation. It looks like the armours will be a mix of mage robes and archer armour like it was in Dragon's Dogma 1. I especially like the armour on the two characters in the bottom right and the bottom left. I especially like the cloak on Buffy the Vampire Slayer here.
The Magic Archer is a vocation that further specializes in long-range attacks with magical arrows. On top of healing and providing support to your allies, they can learn a skill that releases a powerful attack over a wide area in exchange for reducing their own maximum HP.
So the Magic Archer vocation returns from Dragon's Dogma 1 and it looks as good as ever. I don't remember if we could heal teammates with this class in number 1, at least with any magic bow spells, but it looks like we can in this game, which will be really useful. It also looks like they gave the vocation a Holy Furor type move. I think that's what it was called that the Mystic Knight could use. A Holy Furor type move, the one with all the light attacking the Griffin. That'll be really fun to use when you're surrounded by undead. So that's everything I could spot. If I missed anything, please let me know in the comments. Guys, I'm so excited for this game, you have no idea. It looks great and just completely smashed my expectations with all the cool armors and the new mechanics and the Mystic Spearhand vocation. I didn't expect Dragon's Dogma 1 to ever get a sequel, and we get in one and it's just completely just above everything that I thought would have made the sequel great. It's just, oh my gosh, it looks amazing. So before I end the video, I just want to mention that I have just started a Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen playthrough on hard mode, so check it out if you want, please. And anyway, yeah, that's it for the video. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.